This is a quick presentation on how to hire employees for your commercial cleaning business. Now, this can apply to commercial cleaning, janitorial, carpet cleaning, tile. The process wouldn't really change at all depending on or based on the type of service that you provide. In the first step, so what I did is I just put together this little flow chart because I think that it can be very helpful for us to visualize something and to see a concept in writing or in a picture. It'll make it a lot easier to understand and to piece something together. So the first step is we have a job opening, or we have multiple job openings. And what we want to do is put together a job description. And this is going to list the tasks, the hours that are required, the days. Is this a full-time job, a part-time, permanent part-time job, a casual, and any requirements, education requirements, supervision background, certifications, all that fun stuff we would want to include in our job description. From there, we would go to identify the type of person that we're looking for. And especially in the cleaning business is some jobs are very detail oriented type of person, while others are kind of like more hard physical labor. VCT work, for instance, can be a lot of physical labor. And others, like, say, dusting, detail cleaning in offices, that would be more of a detailed person. So you would want to identify, what type of person are you looking for? And this can apply to all kinds of different positions. A supervisor position, you might want to identify a certain type of personality that you're looking for, but it's kind of a vague, uh, abstract type of thinking. But I think I found it helpful because that is part of our job, right? When we're hiring people, is to find good fits. Some people are just not good fits for detail. They're not detailed people, and they never will be. And and it goes the other way also. So after we have our job description, we identify the type of person that we are looking for. We then want to create a database. So that way we can keep track, and this is something I'll cover in a future blog, but with the Google Sheets, you can use Excel. There is some software out there, if you Google it, that you can purchase also if you hire a lot of people. And the point is to create a database so we can keep track of all of this information. And it's not only for today, but it's for the long term, because chances are you're going to get 20, 50 resumes and you're going to hire one or two people. Some of those candidates are not going to be qualified, but some of them will be, but somebody else just beat them. So somehow you would want to tag them, and that's why we want to create a database so we can keep track of all of this information. And it's not something that has to be overly complicated either. From there, we start to think about where do we want to run ads, what is our monthly budget, how are we going to find people. If you also are in a residential operation, a good idea would be to start off emailing all your customers and letting them know, or mailing them a letter, letting them know that you have positions open. If you're active in social media, of course, like Facebook or LinkedIn, Instagram, letting your followers and your friends know that, that's the perfect place to start is through referrals. The same thing applies to employees um, as customers. It's really the same process. So after we run ads, we're then going to start to get contacts. We're going to start to find recruits, and we then go to the next phase. That's why we're going to shoot over here. Once we do, everybody does this differently. I personally like to talk to people on the phone first to kind of get a feel of their situation, because people apply for all kinds of jobs that they're not qualified for, they don't understand, they just apply for everything. So that's why I think it's helpful to first talk on the phone, even for a quick 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just to get a general idea of what their situation is. and let them know what type of job it is so they know what they're getting into. At least what the hours are and the days are. If they don't like working second shift and this job requires you to work to 11 or 12, well, that's going to be a problem. You want to identify that early before they come on site. So after the phone, we would then go to the on site interview. And again, I understand people do this in a lot of different ways. Some people have two interviews on site. That is fine. I'm sure that's going to depend on how important the situation is, the position is, and how big of a position is. Obviously, for a general manager, you would definitely want two or three interviews and maybe even take someone out to lunch. Where a tech, for a tech, a cleaning tech, one on-site visit would probably be enough, and then maybe even add in a second, a brief second phone just to follow up on the on-site. After that, we get together, go over our database, go over our interview notes and sheets, and make a decision. And then finally, to start the onboarding process. This will be another blog that I'll have to go over for all the little details of onboarding, but this is the final process where we start to have them fill out all the paperwork, W-2s, and um, all that fun stuff. Make sure they sign off on a employee manual, um, any kind of banking information if you do direct deposits. Those are some of the tasks involved in the onboarding process. So this was just a